Yep, there we go.
Here we go.
Meet the men from Super Service, facing danger just for kicks. Half a dozen super strong men who were called the Super Six. Super Six, Super Six, battle criminals and all their evil games. Super Six, Super Six, evil doers dread the mention of their names. Looking down the fear of darkness, giving crime an uppercut. 5 great thunderbolts of power, and a bolt who is a nut. Super Six, Super Six, they give their all for Super Six.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in. We see you out there.
One yet. Oh,
I'm really glad I missed that one.
I like playing the oddball stuff like that. So that was Super Six by Pat Freeling. So Fritz Freeling. John, if John Celestri was here, he could give you the entire history of the studio. I think he worked for them at one point. So, yep, that cartoon lasted, I think, only one season, and the main character was Super Boing, who is the hipster guy riding the guitar as it was zooming through space.
Oh my god!
The other characters were all serious superhero characters.
It must have been a great time producing those, you know.
Super Boing was just,
Super Boing.
Yeah, whip ham, zowie, riding on his guitar, trying to fight crime. Yeah.
If you got to do something on a Sunday, you might as well.
It was Saturday morning cartoons, though. So there were a lot of great obscure cartoons during my youth that, especially. Them kids today would have no idea how great they were,
Yeah, and they never will.
And the Super Six had a guy who swam underwater. They had a guy who was a statue in the park that was always chasing off the pigeons. Granite Man, I think his name was. Had a guy traveling through time. Had a guy with magnetic powers. That's the guy who had the hands that had the lightning coming out of it. Just great stuff when you were a kid. Imaginative stuff. Morning, Russ is in the house. Comic book black belt. Russ, I sent you a link. If you want to jump in, you are more than welcome. Everybody out there, this is the Sunday Funnies for the 14th of August, 2022.
We won't even ask you what you're working on right now, Russ.
Oh, we all know what you're working on, Russ. It's okay. You didn't tell anybody. You didn't tell nobody.
There you go.
We have no idea. None.
I think the only person who doesn't know is Russ.
Probably. I think what Russ is actually working on is Only Death Can Save Us this week. So
that's what he told you.
Yeah,
that's what he told you.
That's what he told me. Yeah. Here's our opening. We'll be right. Yeah, it's something. Yeah. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Hang on, folks. Here's our real opening. That's right. Time for the Sunday Funnies, where we try to put the fun back in funny books and watch the conversation wander to who knows where.
Yep. Probably not comics.
But we love comics. We all love comics. Yeah. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can always reach me at thezimcast@gmail.com. I host the Zimcast on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. I also host Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. Most of the time whenever I don't have a show. So last week I had a show, just like Mike Jimmy. Here in the, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I've been doing comics for decades. So love this business, love this art form. That's why I love doing this podcast, especially this one, because we get to talk about what we love in a positive, hopefully more positive light, instead of just going, those guys suck. We'll try to talk about the stuff that puts a gleam in our eye and that warms the cockles of our heart.
Oh, yes.
Also joining me today is Mike Jimmy. Mike Jimmy, introduce yourself.
What up, lovelies? I am Mike Jimmy Devine of Fairies and Ents. I have been a comic creator for the last 5 years now. Actually, 5 years now. Wow, time flies when you're only 29. And I'm a lot younger than these guys. Been doing it a lot shorter, but we're getting places, and it only took 5 years, so I guess I'm doing something right.
Absolutely. The immortal words of Tweety Bird, I'm only 3.5 years old.
There you go.
Also joining us this morning is Mr. Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. I've been doing writing and drawing and stuff longer than Mike Jimmy's been alive. I produce children's books, travel books, but this one is out now. This is probably my greatest thing. Jack Kirby details the visits I made to Jack Kirby's house. You can get this from me, and you also get a DVD of me talking with him. I write and draw this. Hatch, my cartoon character. Book 2 is coming very soon, next couple of weeks. And I also publish Comics Unlimited, which you can purchase. Get all these things on Amazon.
And if you haven't seen a copy of Comics Unlimited, you really need to go out and buy one, especially the latest one.
Issue 10 is out, and I think there's a guy called Zimmerman written me an article for me in that one.
Way in the back. Way in the back. But so many other great articles in there before you get to me, including one on Robo Hunter.
Yeah.
Sam Slade. Amazing.
Sam Slade,
we know who he is.
Yeah.
You folks out there, most of you don't know who he is. You need to know who he is.
Go and see that
great character.
Check it out and see that fantastic artwork by Ian Gibson.
Yes. Amazing.
Come check that out. Yeah.
Truly, you know, that those 2000s were such a such a great point in time, you know.
Yeah.
Pat Mills is like Bill Gaines, went around and found the very best he could to do the very best they could, and that's what it was. It was the very best out there. The whole probably the whole first 20 years at least. I haven't picked it up lately, but they lost me when they started looking slick like a magazine.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, that's around the time I stopped reading it. Probably late 80s. It got a bit. It wasn't making its point to me.
And we have a 2000 AD issue that slides here in the opening because it's very near and dear to me as far as when I picked up. I read a article in a movie fan magazine called Fantastic Films about 2000 ADs. Had no idea they ever existed before, and I'm like, wow, I've got to find these. So I started going on the hunt, and I was working at an adult, or not really an adult, but at a bookstore. Had an adult aisle. I was working at a bookstore. Had a guy come in. Had a guy come in with a grocery bag and says, "Hey, I know you're into comics. You might like these. These are from England." And I went, "Oh yeah, I do, absolutely." And he had runs of 2000 ADs in there, and a whole run of Star Lords, which was another magazine,
and you get
companion
exposed,
magazine.
And you get exposed to that fantastic artwork by Brian Bolland and Cam Kennedy and Rogue Trooper and all that kind of stuff.
Just a huge variety of people. Dave Gibbons is on there. One of my favorites is Carlos Esquera. Just amazing.
You know,
and in those Star Lords was the first Strontium dogs, and that strip just blew me away.
You know, the Judge Dredd strip. One of the reasons why it's so brilliant is because all the different artists that we worked on such different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mike McMahon with his massive boots that he used to do Dredd in, you know, this kind of thing. And the difference of artwork is amazing just for that one character. They don't keep like a Marvel house style, you know, like they do. That's one of the enduring things about it, I think.
Well, one of the great things about the 2000 ADs was that, to me, it reminded me a lot of Marvel in the early 60s, where you had artists in there that knew their stuff, that had their own individual style, that just took that script and turned it into their stuff. You know, there was no way you could mistake Dave Gibbons from Brian Bolland, from Ian Gibson, from Esquera, from all of the great group of people that were always there. Was it Ron? I want to say Ron White, but I don't know if that's the Ron something.
Ron.
Inking style was just unbelievable on Dredd. Did a 3-part story where Dredd was defending a city in the wasteland from an invasion of large spiders.
Yeah.
That was, I'll never, it's just a phenomenal work. And his inking style was incredible.
He used to produce the strip as well in the newspaper. I can't remember his name. Ron.
Oh no, the newspaper
Ron Smith.
was,
that's it.
Ron Smith.
Russ got it.
The newspaper was just like the 2000 ADs. They had different people coming in and out of that constantly.
Right.
So and there was a lot of Ian Gibson, but there was a lot of everybody else that did that strip, because I printed it here in North America for a number of years. So they couldn't believe that I wanted an adventure strip. The syndicators did.
Right.
I ran that and the James Bond comic strip over here. Dread, I never had to edit. Of course, I'd get an occasional, mention why his color is spelt with a U and that kind of thing. But it was all
that's
like,
how you spell it.
Yeah.
That's not how you spell it over here. But
but that's because you don't speak English.
That's true. we speak American English. But anyway, it was just a quick note. No, that's an English strip. So it's there. You've got the Queen's English.
Well, I think you've got the French to thank for the U in it somehow. There you go.
Yeah.
No, you got to thank college students for the U in there.
Okay.
From the
Bloody
early
French
1900s.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're also joined this morning by Mr. Russ Leach, comic book black belt. Introduce yourself, Russ.
Hello, my name's Russ Leach. I'm a comic book artist from the UK. Done lots of stuff. There you go.
Done lots of stuff, drawn lots of stuff.
I've done lots of stuff. I just came here because I was getting abuse, so I thought I'd come on.
Is that what it was?
Tell a
You're
couple
always
of people
welcome
one
on.
thing, and then the whole audience knows, and then you have to go to litigation. Where does it stop?
You don't have to be gone just to take abuse. You could be here and still take it.
Ask Amber Heard where it stops.
but
Wait,
it stops on a bed.
Ragin 2 says morning. Mike's T might join us here eventually. HR's in the house. How you doing? Comic book black belt. Don't take the piss. Don't take the piss. Mike, Jimmy, you're in my next short videos. Singing girls just want to have fun.
If you're gonna do it.
Our pale writer. Thanks for listening in.
Singing
Atrocity
girls.
Press. What up? What up? Max up early this morning. Max, nice of you to join us. Thank you. Max does Machine Gun Mary, right? Machine Gun. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Atrocity Press, folks. Need to look it up. Dan Pleagle, Boob Dan Art. Morning, friends. Morning, Boob Dan. Hope you're doing well. We're all awake here. Everybody else is in the middle of their day, except me. So,
Yeah.
So, Russ, what can't you tell us today that you're doing?
I can't tell you.
I literally told you we weren't going to ask Glenn.
we weren't gonna. Glenn had to.
I couldn't resist.
You don't have to say it. You don't have to push. It's very close. It would have been rude if you hadn't, of course. It's imminent. The news is imminent.
And when he can tell us, everyone will know.
Yeah, everyone will know. The news is imminent.
There you go.
That's the best way to go.
I can't wait to get fired.
But Russ did a tenure on how to draw comics the Marvel way, right?
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
yeah. Did some stuff for Marvel, and I'm currently on the Doctor Who magazine. I've done a run. I've been on for about 10 months now. So yeah, actually, maybe a bit more than that. It's just I took a break for Christmas. So yeah, I mean, nearly a year. So yeah. And I'm doing some stuff with Artie Bear.
Are you really? Good for you.
Yeah.
That's a nice guy.
Yeah, again, that's not something I can talk about. I just, occasionally do some work with Art and Joe as well, who we'll work together on occasion, or disparately, but together. I'm doing some stuff for Tim Quinn again. Doing a book about Everest, climbing Everest. So I'm doing 5 pages for Tim. And obviously Only Death Can Save Us. I've just finished the pencils on that, and it's just gone off to the letterer. So I'm going to start the inking on the last part of it. So I'm hoping to have that in people's hands October, November, really. I think that's probably realistic. So
yeah,
still not bad.
I mean, I wanted it out for March, but shizzle happens, and shizzle happens, and the universe give me a bit of a kick in at the start of the year.
We are TVMA DLSV, so you got to go beyond shizzle. You're welcome.
Shizzle, right? Okay. So yeah, the universe dropped a big pile of steaming dung on me at the start of the year, and then some good things happened, which is great, which is the stuff I can talk about soon, but also some pretty crappy stuff happened.
It's been a crazy year for all of us.
Yeah, so it just slowed me up. It's so when you have things go on in the family, it slows your whole unit up. Yeah. And if you're trying to make money at the same time, it just all piles on top of one on top of the other. So I'm not looking for sympathy, just saying that's what happens, and that's what happens in business. Stuff happens. But anybody who is listening in right at the moment who has backed me, shit.
Anybody happens. Yeah.
Anybody who has backed me, the book is on its way, and it will be, as promised, better than the first. So there you go.
And here's the thing: you're still keeping contact with people. You're keeping your promises. You're keeping people informed. You're fine. I was 8 months late with the Radiant site too, because the artist was just way slower than they said they would be. Yeah. It went out yesterday. It was supposed to be done in January.
Oof.
Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, people have been very kind. I mean, the people that I put up an update from Rick last month, and because he wrote me one out, which was very kind of him, because I was just so busy.
No, you were.
So I put out an update there. I'll be putting out another update in about a week's time for people, because obviously I've had the lettering done, the penciling's finished, so I want to update them exactly where it is. I chat occasionally to the people that are in and around the campaign. So some I got left a message the other day and chatted back, but also a few of the people that have paid a lot of money for artwork, I sent them personal emails just to say, look, thank you for being so patient. And actually this month somebody bought the cover art. So I mean, I was totally blown away by that. So but anybody who's bought the art, basically I've said to them, you're going to get some extra stuff, because you lay the money down, especially with Indiegogo, you lay that money down. And although I'm very much a proponent of Indiegogo and Kickstarter, they are there as crowd funders.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I know that there are. I know that Daphne produces a fantastic book, and she's very professional, and she takes the book and she gets it done, and only then does she put a Kickstarter up. And I do appreciate the way that she works that, and how other creators do that. I don't consider it a shop front. It's there to fund me so that I can make the book and get it to them. So if it does take that time, then that's the nature of the business.
Yeah.
As of book 3, I won't be going crowdfunding anymore. I don't like keeping people waiting, but at the same time, what I'm looking to do is get to a broader audience. So from issue 3 onwards, in fact, it was Dojo that dropped me a message. From issue 3 onwards, it will go out via Amazon or something like that. And what I'll be doing is I'll be using my email list to tell everybody that it's available and that they can buy it. So instead of dropping the money early, they only need to drop the money when it's when it's up for sale on Amazon. So that's the way I'll go from now on.
Yeah.
I would suggest doing your own print run, just to be able to get a little bit more revenue out of it, because Amazon, if they drop it back to you after reading it, it's coming out of your pocket.
Oh yeah, I know the scores on that. I think the last time I looked, it was 80%. So I get 80% of the cover price.
Yeah, but
which I'm cool with. So
but if they return it, then that money is coming out of your pocket with the revenue, the return fee, and the part that they took.
Yeah. But
you're losing a lot with Amazon. It's scary.
Yeah, but how many returns are you likely to get?
It depends on what
shipping.
Yeah,
not even shipping. Like, it depends on the person, really.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean,
the last book I got from Amazon, they're lucky that I was going to keep it anyway, because they sent it to me with a a dinged front and dinged corners, and
I'd be reticent. I mean, I'd like to look through the documentation again, but if it's their fault that it's been damaged, I can't believe that they can charge
turn that back to you
for the return.
No.
So
if I wanted to complain and send it back to them, they'd take it and they'd send me a call tag.
But as putting that book out through Amazon, I mean, obviously I'll be checking the small print very, very, very closely. But I can't believe that they'd be able to charge you for their error.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, if it's being sent back because somebody doesn't like the book, then okay, I could see how they could wangle that and maybe charge you for it.
That's what I'm talking about. Like if they read the book and return it, then you're paying out of your own, like the revenue you got with everything that the cost of the book goes to you.
But then you have returns in all kinds of cases. You got to allow for a percentage of returnability, and know that you've got to eat that. So we'll see.
Hail Frog G in the chat.
Thank you very much for
already at work putting out those links.
It's up.
Yeah, love you very much. Thank you.
It's because I'm seeing authors actually having problems with it.
Right. Okay.
So better warned than.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, I'm just looking. I'm looking for ways of getting out there. I mean, it's a privilege to have people, fund your book. 250 people. Yeah, but you want
Probably.
hundreds, you want thousands of people to read your content. And
Imperial Vol in the house, Peter.
Trying to find that platform.
For sure.
To do it,
We're also joined here by Dojo Kun. Dojo, how you doing?
Good morning, guys. I can say that I've been better. I'm fighting COVID right now. I had it since Wednesday, but the show must go on. Last night I launched my book, and I was up till 3 a.m. doing that. So
don't overtax yourself, buddy.
That wouldn't have helped the throat, would it?
Right. So that's why I'm not on camera. I probably look like death warmed over right now, but I'm happy
to book about that.
Nice of you to join us.
Death can
I wanted to say that I really appreciate those that were up there up last night with me. I got to 24% funded already, so I'm happy about that.
Brilliant.
That was on Projectile Reptile.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Also,
cool. We'll run that bumper here before the show is over.
It was fun. I started on Michael's Bancroft show, and we got to about 20%, and then on Jeremy's show last night, they were doing the first half of a 2-part closeout for Groken 2 by Kenneth Rocafort.
Oh boy!
So I said, I definitely want to be on that show, if not just to support Kenneth, because his product is just amazing. I got the first issue of Groken, and even if there were no words in the whole thing, it's just a work of art front to back.
Yeah,
I mean his art looks like classical painting. Every panel is a work of absolute, masterpiece.
That's Grokken, if I'm not mistaken, over on Indiegogo right now. 1K.
Yeah, just 1K.
Grokken over on Indiegogo right now. It's Groken 2. You're going to want Groken 1 as well, because like Dojo said, it is beautiful. Absolutely incredible. I got to go over there and get that number 2.
He does have the catch-up tier, like you mentioned. And on this campaign, he's also got a sketchbook. And let me tell you what, anything that Kenneth does and calls a sketch looks like a finished piece by most people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Well, try not to overtax yourself, Brian. It's, luckily COVID now is pretty watered down from when I caught it, but you don't want to test the waters.
Right. No,
I wouldn't wish what I went through on anybody.
I'm nowhere near that bad. The first time I had it, it was pretty bad. Nothing like yours, though. And then this time, there was only one day that was unmanageable. Really now, it just feels like a flu. I'm good.
Yeah, that's what they say the current version is like. The other versions are pretty much non-existent anymore. Just wiped out as it mutates and moves along.
Yeah.
I've been keeping an eye on it. It's been real interesting to me, but I'm writing a book. I'm going to start a sign-up sheet for it here pretty soon over on Indiegogo called My Life.
I'm waiting on it.
My Life Under COVID. I just I made some good movement on it yesterday. Let's put it that way.
Good. Awesome.
So there's lots of stuff to do. It's going to be a great showcase and a great lesson, hopefully learned for everybody. Then I'm hoping I can get it out before this bug disappears entirely. So,
out of curiosity, will you be also talking about the storm you woke up to?
No.
Okay.
I don't plan on talking about. That's my professional life. This is more of a personal life side.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that'll be interesting anyway. So yeah, that'll be cool.
But I didn't want to intermingle all of this crap together because that previous fiasco is muddled and screwed up enough as it is. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep.
And none of it really was our doing, except for us being naive enough to, get involved.
And
with
hopefully we're all able to move on. Of course, I didn't have any financial loss to that one, but almost my job. So,
well, another story for another time.
Yes. Yeah. Let's not move on to that one. But hey, it's great to talk to Mike and Glenn and Russ. It's been a long time, Russ.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
There's a broken link in there. Thanks to Frog G again. Frog G, I deeply appreciate you throwing those links in the chat. Can't thank you.
Always all over it.
Frog G's got a campaign running right now too, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. Launching September 17th. Sign up now for Frog G, Voodoo Gods and Magic. There we are. Take over there and take a look at that. Thank you.
The truest of wrenches.
We'll have Frog G on to promote that as soon as it's.
So the great thing about that campaign is it was born out of being drawn into another book. So Frog G bought a tier where his character was created by himself and Inkspots and Jason Bascom, and the people saw that. I think it was going to be a trading card or a bookmark or something. Sorry, I forgot that detail, but people loved it so much they said, "Oh man, you got to do a book about Frog G, the character." And it got bandied about in the chat for a little while, and it took hold. So here it is, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm definitely grabbing that one too.
So hey, let's talk. Let's talk our favorites here.
Randy, I wanted to ask you a question about your last week, the convention you went to. I just want to tell us what happened.
I did a 2-day show here in Flint. The really cool Comic-Con. Got to meet.
Wasn't it your first time in 2 years?
By on Sunday. First time in a couple of years. Yeah. Yep. I'm looking at getting back into coordinating shows again too, but I only do little 1-day shows because I like to keep it short and like a party instead of a job.
Yeah.
So, but it was doing a 2-day show is a major endeavor, and it takes a lot of people and a lot of coordination to get it together, and you have to bring in guests and you have to charge a lot at the door. You have a large venue that you have to cover, a lot of vendors to come in and set up. And they started Friday night with setup, and there was a lot more people there than I thought we're going to be there Friday night setting up, because usually everybody comes Saturday morning as early as possible. And he was open at 6 a.m. Saturday morning to come in and set up, but most everybody was already set up by that point, or just moving in their final details. Saturday for me was good. I got to talk to a lot of people, got to talk about me and the fiasco deal and all of this. And, but I didn't make a lot of money. So I sold a few books, but not a lot. I was a little worried. And then Sunday came about, and Sunday was bigger than Saturday, which is really rare for a convention.
Yeah.
Usually Sundays calm down a bit, but the Sunday at the show was amazing because there was a nice big crowd. It was in an ice rink, an ice arena that they play hockey in. And there were a lot of people there, saw a few people that I hadn't seen in 10 or so years. That just popped up in front of my table. And it was a really good time. And I sold a lot of stuff,
awesome.
Moved a lot of books, which was really good. So it was a real good time, real great show.
As Randy said, I managed to visit too. And as a fan, rather than a vendor. I was able to walk around the whole show probably 3 or 4 times. My son came with me, and I made a lot of great connections. And excuse me, one of the great things about a con of that size, I'm sorry, guys.
Take your time. No worries.
I always had a little liquid with you, buddy.
Yeah, right. Is that I made some great connections to people who hadn't ever even heard of the network, hadn't heard of the my colleagues in the network and all that, and I was able to, get some people to come on my show pretty soon. So that'll be awesome to talk to some creators who haven't been in our circles. I always like to expand out, and some of them have some really good looking products too. So I'm excited to get eyes on them, to help them out.
Awesome.
A lot of old paper dealers. A really old paper dealer there had a entire couple of box lids full with big little books. That was kind of surprising to see.
Ooh.
Most of which I already had, but went through and looked all that stuff over. Bought some books. Bought some $5 graphic novels. That was pretty cool. Got a copy of I showed Poison Elves on Wednesday night show with the great Drew Hayes. That's one of those 80s independent comics that you never hear about anymore. Drew passed a while ago. I got a complete set, not a complete set, but a great collection of let me pull it out here. Called The Conqueror. King Kull, Volume 1. Printed from Dark Horse. It has all those great early Marvel, Marie and John Severin's stories in it. Almost all of them, but just beautiful. Great stuff. Thoroughly enjoyable. Hero by Night, hardback by DJ Kaufman. That it's got a sticker on it that doesn't reflect well. There we are.
I haven't heard of that one before. That looks sharp.
No. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fun book. I almost printed DJ once, and that back with Arrow 3.0, and that turned into a fiasco too. And he hated me for years. But I solicited for his book. The numbers on the book come in so low, I just couldn't print it because I would take such a hard loss on it, and it upset him greatly, which I don't blame him. But
not your fault, is it?
No,
it wasn't. But he blamed me for it. He blamed the company for it. It was kind of bad mouthing me for a little while, and I felt bad for him, but there wasn't anything I could do about it. Drew's got an amazing cartoony style to his work. Does some phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
This particular property was signed over to Platinum Studios, and Platinum kind of messed him around on it pretty hard. But they did a couple of nice collections, nice products. It was originally out in a series of floppies, and I'm pretty sure he had a falling out with them, but at least he had some stuff printed by him. There's the Poison Elves volume there by Drew Hayes. Phenomenal black and white work. Oh, and also an early the early collection of Valiants, because Valiant might not be around much longer. Exo Man of War, about the first 6 issues back when Jim Shooter was in control of the company, and everything with Valiant was phenomenal.
Cool.
We wish them the best and hope they get along. I guess they're down to 1 title a month, and that's maybe.
Wow.
So
Ooh.
we'll see how
Ooh.
how long they last.
I was saying to you yesterday, Randy, about these those Steranko books.
Yes.
From 1970.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them, 2 volumes of them. He was saying
there was only 2. Yeah,
only 2, and they're just absolutely incredible.
Tabloid size, history of comics, the Steranko history of comics. Wrap around. Hang on. Let me blow you up there. Beautiful
Nice.
Steranko wraparound covers of all of this barrage of great old characters, most of which he talked about in each volume. He went around and got interviews with folks, most of whom are no longer with us.
Yeah.
About their days in the industry, and was doing a very highly detailed account of different subjects. Everything's broken down into chapters. Like there's a chapter on Superman, a chapter on Batman.
I'm gonna show you that.
A chapter on pulp magazines. There's a brilliant chapter on early Timely books, and he has Bill Everett phenomenal Bill Everett drawing of Submariner versus Human Torch. That is just.
Well, look at this.
Great.
Schuster's first drawing of the original Superman concept, it says.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look at that.
Lovely.
That is awesome.
Just great stuff.
It's a couple of brilliant volumes. I would urge everybody to get it if they can. I think it's pretty rare. I'm not sure, but
it's kind of rare. Yeah, we were talking yesterday about values. There's a half a dozen of them available over on eBay at any given time, ranging from $30 to $130, depending upon who's trying to sell them.
Right.
But it's worth having a copy of it. And it's if you ever see Steranko at a show, I don't think he sells them anymore, but he might sell prints of the outside covers, which are well worth owning. And Steranko's been promising to do more volumes. He's got material from what I understand for the next volume or two together. I really do. Yeah, I wish so too. I wish he would do it.
I got the Artisan Nick Fury by Steranko, which is a lovely book.
Nice volume. Yeah.
And then just recently I got, because I've got the Essential Silver Surfer and I got the Artisan version.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And it's really nice. It's really nice of IDW to be kicking some of that stuff out in soft cover.
Yeah. Yeah. And then yesterday,
because that makes it that more than worth the price of admission.
Gil Kane turned up.
There you go.
Ooh,
absolutely.
Nice. That's just beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just beautiful stuff. Lovely. So two more prize possessions there.
I just got a book from Amazon that has a collection of Gil Kane interviews. I can't wait to sit down and read. That were done by the Comics Journal over the years. Just from what I understand, he was a very opinionated person. So most of those older guys that had been in the business for 40, some odd years, got a little curmudgeon-y, towards the end and didn't spare any words. So, but Gil is amazing.
I can identify with that.
Yeah.
Well, once my pension turns up, I'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
Gil is amazing.
I'll be thrown off the internet when I'm 67. That's it. It's all over.
Gil Kane was like
at the moment because I get paid. That's it.
Gil Kane was like Kirby. He was out there just drawing. He wanted to draw. He wanted to make a living. He wanted to make a living doing what he loved. So Gil wasn't afraid to experiment and go out there and play in a couple of different fields. And he did a couple of graphic novels before the word graphic novel was invented. Did Black Mark. That was a little trade paperback book. He did
Skyhawk. He did. Did he do?
Oh
Skyhawk?
No, that was a comic strip. That was back in the late 70s. To capitalize on the Star Wars type stuff. That was like Space Rangers, but that was also an incredible strip. And I've got almost every version, every format that they reprinted Skyhawks in or reprinted it in. It's just a great example of a comic strip. And he was lucky to be able to do 2 tiers at once daily. So you had almost like a Sunday strip every day in the paper, drawn pretty large. It'd still be about 4 or 5 panels maximum, but it'd be all Gil Kane. All of his ships were made out of basic shapes. He had a robot dog that was running through it, and basic cops in space type stories. It's really good.
Excellent.
Ron Goulart wrote the majority of that strip with him. So just a beautiful strip. Yeah. Now, speaking of comic strips, no, go ahead, Glenn. You were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say he's just a fantastic artist. Just
just amazing. Speaking of comic strips, I was over on Facebook, and I have certain people that I keep track of, even though they have no idea who I am. People that I admire and that. And I was stumbled across this. Somebody got a gift. Oh, hang on here. Let me hit share. Somebody got a gift given to him that I thought we could share here on the show. Since he posted it on Facebook, I'm sure he doesn't mind if everybody knows. Just out of the blue, a friend of his knew that he liked this stuff. So he ended up giving it to him. Ready?
Go.
Mm-hmm.
Modesty Blaze original.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at this
That
by
would
Peter
be
O'Donnell
straight on
and
the wall.
Jim Holdaway.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
That would be straight on my wall. Look.
Yeah. Jim
Yeah.
Holdaway. He died. I think he was only about 40, wasn't he, when he died?
Yeah.
And just nice segue there. In Comics Unlimited 10, there's an interview I conducted with Romero, the guy who took over from this on the strip from him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fabulous.
Take a look at that. Just beautiful work.
Yeah.
See
Look
the paste in here of the title, and then
Yeah.
Everything else is just done.
Russ, look
brilliantly
at
by
that.
hand.
Look at that. This talks like you. Look, you princess. Well,
That's
look at
Gavin.
that. How good is that lettering? Look at that lettering.
Yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yes.
Are you
Beautiful.
suggesting I'm common?
No, I'm suggesting you're sort of Cockney to me. Even though I know you're not.
Oh, well,
Because you're from down south.
no,
Oh,
I've
my
been
God.
infected, mate. I've just been infected, completely infected by the southern
This is from the official Walter Simonson page. Modesty Blaze 1335 newspaper strip from the episode The Magnified Man, written by Peter O'Donnell, drawn by Jim Holdaway. 19.2 inches by 5.8 inches from 1967.
Just
Well,
look at
that
it's just like Frank Bellamy, the way he places those blacks, just
Yeah.
just perfect, isn't it?
Phenomenal,
Wait.
yeah.
It's just incredible.
Well, so many of these great strip artists were so good at that. Kenneth is another example. Was like that, knew where to spot those blacks in order to guide your eye straight across that
Yeah.
strip.
Wally
Just
Wood was a
beautifully
master of
done.
that, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah. Wally Wood was incredibly good at that too. He says a couple of friends came by today for an afternoon visit. They brought a gift with them. One of them had found a Modesty Blaze original strip drawn by Holdaway for sale, and picked it up and gave it to me. I am one of the world's biggest Holdaway fans, and couldn't have been more surprised and delighted. His work has been a big influence on my own since before I was in comics professionally. Thrilled to have one of the original strips. Glad to see you both, and many thanks, guys. Many thanks.
That is.
If anyone's
those are some
coming over to
friends.
my house and they happen to have
Yeah.
a boot smell with them,
Just a beautiful example of artistry there. Look at that, in simplicity at the same time. Because they didn't know how far these newspapers were going to reduce these strips, so they had to work. Plus, they were working incredibly fast as well.
Yeah. Again, just look at that lettering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible, isn't it?
That is amazing stuff.
And anybody out there, if you haven't read the Modesty Blaze strip, it's definitely worth your time getting it.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal strip. And it's very unfortunate that there hasn't been a really good adaptation of that. This character would make a great series or series of movies.
Yeah.
Would be a great property for somebody to take and film. Just the relationship between Modesty and Gavin alone is worth the price of admission, let alone the story itself. But very much like a Mission Impossible, as she has a long history, he has a long history, and their entire relationships are unique because it's very platonic, and each one admires the other one, and they go
Is it
off
public
on
domain, Randy?
No, it is not.
It is not. Okay.
In fact, it circulated through the Universal Press Syndicate. I tried to get the Modesty Blaze strip when I was doing Flint Comics, so I could print it over here. The closest it had ever been printed to me was the Detroit Free Press printed it for many, many years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In reprints.
I used to read it there. Yep.
But they told me that there were no North American rights any longer available unless you wanted to carry it in Spanish. And it just wasn't going to be the same. Everybody told me you should carry it anyway and just run a translation underneath. Says I can't afford a translator to run behind all of these strips. And
But just in case you didn't hear me, look at that lovely lettering. It's absolutely wonderful.
What you were saying about the two characters and the way that they were full of respect for each other and worked with each other, and how this is 60s, 70s,
late
stuff.
60s, yeah.
Yeah,
67.
I mean, isn't there a big
way ahead of its
push for that kind of stuff now? And it's like it was already there.
Oh,
and,
you would think so.
And I think what it highlights is the way characterizations are done these days. Basically, ever since the X-Files, you can't have a female and male character or any kind of duo character on screen without there being some kind of sexual tension.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this, you don't have to have that. People
Not at all.
work together, you know? And because of that, it seems to be put into every relationship you see in modern writing.
And Peter O'Donnell is such a great writer.
Yeah.
That, these characters were fully fleshed out from the start.
Mhm.
And it just ran, the strip ran for decades. At least 3 different artists, right? Because Holdaway ended up passing tragically.
Yep.
Romero came on for a while, and then somebody like that came in.
I'm pretty sure that Tim Quinn edited on Modesty Blaze for a while.
Okay.
I had an interview with Peter O'Donnell in my Crikey magazine as well, so check it out.
Yeah, check it out. That's number 10, right?
Crikey.
Crikey. Oh no,
No,
Comics
Romero's
Unlimited. Romero's in Comics Unlimited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful. Look at that.
Look at that solid black with in the middle panel. It just all you see is the hand. Everything else is shadow. A couple faces. Yeah.
So would you say that the main character seems a little Steve McQueen-ish, huh? It's kind of inspired by Steve McQueen.
The woman.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's Modesty.
So that was
the woman. Gavin is the blonde Steve McQueen-ish looking guy.
Steve McQueen-ish.
Had a specialty with knives.
Of course.
And again, if you can find these reprints and you've never read Modesty Blaze before, pick it up. You will not regret it. Some of it's dated, of course, because it's late 60s. It's 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 50.
50 years ago. Yeah.
Almost 60 now.
Almost 60.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful strip, beautiful characters, beautiful stories.
This came out when I was born.
Yeah.
Like the same year.
This came out 3 years before my dad was born.
Oh, shut up, Mike.
I would also say the only adventure strip that really comes close to this in quality is Garth by Frank Bellamy.
Frank Bellamy, yeah.
Also a phenomenal strip. Only it's about a muscle-bound guy who travels in time.
I used to like AXA when I was a young lad.
Yeah.
Of course. That's one for everybody to look up, but we won't do it here.
No.
There's probably no pictures available that Facebook wouldn't frown on us showing, but whole different levels of nudity.
Yeah.
What was that one called?
From here, AXA.
Pulling up
Black,
Google now.
Blackthorn. I want to say Blackthorn in the strip for about 6 collections back in the 80s.
I used to see it was in the Devil's newspaper, The Sun. And my sister used to buy The Sun, just so everybody knows. My sister used to buy The Sun, and I'd see it in there along with. This might have been in the Mirror, which is also the Devil's newspaper. And it was
everything's the Devil's newspaper.
Jane and
he owns them all.
Can you remember Glenn? Jane and Freddie or something? I
can't remember who it was, but yeah,
it was. And I'm sure that was
racy.
That was a bit racy as well. Yeah. They were always sitting in bed having a cup of tea on a Sunday and just like chatting as you do.
Best way. I mean, if you're gonna do us lazy Sunday,
do it with no clothes on.
Exactly. Close the curtains. Nobody cares.
Oh, don't close the curtains.
Okay, maybe the neighbors will enjoy it.
Yeah. They can either enjoy it or they can point and laugh.
Depends.
This from Crikey as well. We did a whole issue on it with George and Lynn. Is that the one you mean?
George and Lynn, that's the one.
So,
Diary of a Deadly what?
Diary of a nearly perfect marriage.
Okay.
And then we had.
Was that similar in tone to Al Cap? Not Al Cap, Andy Cap?
No, not at all. And we got Wicked Wanda.
Oh, Wicked Wanda. I remember those.
That's Ron Embleton who drew that. I used to draw Stingray in TV21. He's a fantastic
Stingray.
And then I'm not sure we can show this bit, so I'll cover it up. Carrie. We had We had Carrie.
Cover up the naughty bits, yeah.
Woohoo! Wait, no, don't show that bit.
Sorry.
Seduction of the innocents.
Yeah, Carrie, and then we had we've got Axa. I'll just show her face.
Yeah, that
there's Axa. Yeah,
yeah.
That's
don't
drawn
show more than that.
Beautifully drawn. Yeah, you can't get much lower than that without running into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
She was pretty topless all the way through that strip, if I remember right. Yeah.
And we've got there's Jane. This from the Second World War. She always used to end up naked by the end of the strip. Literally was a strip.
Yeah. It was a strip of a strip. In the strip. Yeah.
So we did I remember a guy wrote me a letter when he bought this. He said, "I've never been so disgusted in all my life." And he said that he used to buy this and then read it to his 7-year-old son or whatever it was. And when this one came on, he was absolutely appalled and thought it was disgusting that we would run artwork. And I said, the comic strips, they are what they are. So I'm sure your son will appreciate it later. And he went berserk.
And they are just drawings, right?
That's right, yeah.
At the end of the day.
It's funny how you can show.
My reaction would have been, welcome to Europe.
Yeah. I always find it fascinating that we can watch men being shot to pieces on Saving Private Ryan, but we can't show a naked lady.
Don't show nipples.
Yeah. Well, you can, but it just takes a higher rating.
It's an apocalypse.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, good stuff. Check it out. All these fantastic strips, and like Mike says, from Europe. You'll be surprised. Go and look at some Serpieri, hey Mike.
Yeah.
That'll open your eyes.
Well, and I was lamented the fact that I learned that over in the UK there was something called a page 3 girl, and I was like, I can't find those here in our newspapers. Why is that?
Well, that's been cancelled now. They don't do that anymore because
I'm sure. But I remember that
into women.
Samantha Fox started as a page 3 girl.
Yeah. She did, yeah. Look what happened to her.
Right.
At the bookstore I was running, we would get copies of Maxim in. And I would have to go through and look them over all the way from cover to cover to double check.
Just for research purposes, right?
Well, to make sure that sometimes the laws over in England for nudity are completely different from the laws here in the States. Mm-hmm. And some issues we could not legally sell.
Okay. So you really were looking for a good. I just thought you were saying you had to do the research because it
was a twofold
Maxim
experience. Yeah,
it was one of those. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Exactly right. We're now joined by C. Michael. We're with C. Michael. C. Michael Lanning. Introduce yourself real quick to us.
I'm C. Michael Lanning, independent artist. I've done work for Arrow on Calico and Shard, plus show coordinator over on Dispatches from Outside the Box, where we scour the corners of geekdom to inspire you to create outside the box every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, I really have to narrow down my book poops. Calico of Shard. There we are.
There you go.
There we are. All right.
You won that one.
Well, yeah, I thought that'd be fun to share here on, and I'm pretty sure Walter wouldn't mind if he shared that. He posted it publicly up on his Facebook. So I'd love to have Walter on sometime to talk about his career. That would be an interesting interview. So anyway, what's up?
So last night, I found something on Facebook. Somebody posted about back in 2014. The guy who created, I think it was Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network, was going to do a Popeye movie.
Popeye? Yeah.
A Popeye, yeah. And
Dexter's Laboratory.
They went through not animatronics, what's it called? The animatics or whatever. They did the whole movie. Score, vocals, everything. They were supposed to do it, I think, CGI. But
it was going to be CGI.
It was going to be, but they did the whole movie, everything you can. And I ended up sitting there for an hour and a half watching it last night. It would be kind of interesting. They kind of have a lot of callbacks to the old cartoons. It's not really it's not really like verbatim, but you had the one like the Alibaba remember the Popeye and the Alibaba and the Thieves. They kind of had to call back to that. Sleepwalking, Olive Oil, just all sorts of. It was actually pretty cool. I would have liked to have seen it done. I think they had the guy playing Popeye was the one that did SpongeBob, and used to be on Bob and Dave Super Show.
One of those you missed it by that much productions, huh?
Yeah. You said you would like to have seen it done. If you watched it last night, what about the production didn't get?
Well, it's basically just scribbles. It was mostly just scribbles, like it was like storyboard and animatics or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what stopped it from occurring?
I don't know. Sony just didn't want to go through with it. I guess they thought there wasn't going to be any money in it.
I think they made a short out of it eventually. Like they only took a couple of elements from it and made a short out of it, which is like 5 minutes.
I seem to remember seeing that on.
What it was it wasn't really. I know the scene was in the movie. I know what you're talking about because they're fighting on a boat. It was the Sky Pirates they were fighting, and it wasn't. It was kind of an example to pitch the movie to try to really get it some clout. So it didn't really. Yeah. It was just a scene, just Popeye fighting. But the only thing is, it had Jeep in it, which was interesting. But it didn't have. If they went forward, I'm sure Sweet Pea would have showed up in the next one. There was a brief cameo, but I cannot remember the guy's name. Yeah, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Wimpy.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Wimpy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I think he showed up, from what I could tell, for like he was going to the burger joint, so I'm pretty sure it was him. But he wasn't a main character, so.
Had one of those Easter egg cameos.
Yeah, but Bluto wasn't the main villain. That was interesting. I'm kind of glad that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
He was in it. He was a dick, but he wasn't the main villain. But
I got new books.
Uh-oh.
Telltale went oversized. Oh my God.
Is that in the A4 format?
Yes, it is. Let me give you a relative size on how much bigger you can get them now. Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm still looking forward to taking these along to my next show next week. I am over the moon.
Now, how did those print out? Is there a little extra border on the sides or what?
No,
no, they look great, don't they?
Yeah, no, definitely pretty much. So I made a Clip Studio file, and I put in the pages. And what I found was that the pages he sent me, like the raw art size, was perfect to the standard borders that Clip Studio gives.
Cool.
So it was literally just popping them in there and done.
Sweet. Cool. Hey, folks out there, hit that like button, hit that love button if you can. I haven't been ignoring the chat on purpose. We've just been talking. So says Empyrean Vol says he totally remembers Poison Elves. It was like an outlaw version of ElfQuest. Yeah. Yeah. Only with raw pen and ink style, I thought was really reminiscent of the time of the underground movement and the early Cerebuses. I thought there was a lot of that in Poison Elves. Agent Zero in the house. Hail Frog G. Hail Empyrean. Hey yo, says Pops. Hey yo, back at you. Hail Comic Book Black Belt. I love your work and only death can save us. Agent Zero Comics says.
Thank you very much.
Oh wait, hey yo, over here. Yeah. Anyway. Hail. Everybody's hailing. I guess everybody else is talking to everybody else in the chat.
It sounds like they need a cab. Hail.
Yeah. Hey, Frog, big things coming, man. Hey, Comic Talk. Hey, everybody. More contact from Frog G. More links. Awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, Agent Zero Comics. How you doing? And doing well. Thank you. Yeah, everybody's talking to everybody else. Want to give a shout out to those lame ass StreamYard reviewers that review things they admittedly know nothing about. So much stupid, so little time. LOL. Anyone I see in a turtleneck reminds me of Steve McQueen. Okay, let's go back and watch Bullet again. I was thinking about doing that the other day. It's been a while. Tickle the algorithm, smash the like, dingle the bells.
Do it.
Jingle the bells too, and subscribe. Definitely go over there and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Comic Book Black Belt, please check your email box regarding Sequential's work. Agent Zero, he's busy. Anyway, what do you think about the comic book that are coming out today? What about the comic books coming out today? See, the whole purpose of Sunday Funnies is to talk about the stuff that we love.
What? That's a Wednesday night conversation, right?
That's definitely a conversation we can take up over on the Zimcast Facebook user. Please visit us on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we talk more about the current business, the current state of things. And this Wednesday, I hope to have a theme of watch your language, because words are important. Words have meaning. Words are like weapons. And I think there's a lot of words out there in the industry right now that we really need to start reconsidering using. A lot of words. Anyway. We want to make this a happy place. Here, Sunday Funnies, we talk about the stuff that we love, more than the stuff that we want to criticize. We try to keep the conversation a little positive, though, as Glenn will point out to you, it does wander quite often.
It's always Glenn's fault.
It's
usually never Glenn's fault, but he knows so much anyway. And more links from Frog G. Okay, thank you so much, everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you tell your friends about this show. We're always archived over on Ragin 2. You can listen to us anytime that you want. You don't have to listen to us live. It's just that if you are live, you can contribute to the chat, And if you have a campaign going on, if you have something up that you want to promote, make sure you contact the Ragin 2 people or myself. You can always reach me at thezimcast@gmail.com. We want to help you along. So definitely get a hold of us when you have something to promote. If you have something to say, maybe we'll have you on. Absolutely. Who's whistling?
Sorry, it was me.
It's okay. You subconsciously whistle when you're working?
No, I do it on purpose. It just came out.
That's all right.
It just fell out. You know what I mean? Mrs. Who?
It's like that Doc Savage subconscious whistle whenever he makes a realization. It's in the books anyway.
There's a
someday if The Rock gets off of his ass and stops doing stupid characters, that's another discussion for Wednesday night. Maybe he can actually do a Doc Savage movie like he keeps promising. Maybe Spielberg will do Blackhawks too. Who knows? I don't know if Zaslav will actually help him or not. Zaslav would go Black Who? But anyway.
Zaslav sounds like a supervillain.
No, actually, he's been doing some pretty interesting things over there.
The name. I just meant the name.
Yeah. He's sitting there. He's inherited this company. Yeah.
I'm very, very shallow. It's just the
That's
name.
Fine. Yeah. He's inherited this company that's $3 billion in the hole. Nice. So he's taking a scythe to it and going, what can we save? What can we write off? What do we think we're actually going to make money? We're not going to make money on that thing. Ditch it. So
he's cleaning house.
That's very interesting. Unfortunately, they're talking now that Doom Patrol and Teen Titans are going to get caught in that backwash.
Oh.
So speaking of Black Hawk, actually, yes, on Friday, at my side job as a mover, I talked to a guy who was also being a freelancer as a mover and a comic writer rather than an artist. And he and his dad are working on a graphic novel. And his dad actually worked on Black Hawk. And I distinctly remember him saying that.
Which version of Black Hawk?
Which Black
Hawk? I have no idea.
But which Black Hawk? Because I think there's also an English Black Hawk property that has nothing to do with the
one from 2000 AD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sadly don't know the name
cats.
of. Yeah, cool. I sadly do not know the name of the guy's dad. I have to ask him, because I would love to see more of that, because this is beautiful stuff.
What happened to the backgrounds?
Well, I mean,
oh, Glenn.
I mean,
no, listen. We don't know where they are.
No, we don't. I thought they were just in like a dream world.
That's what I was thinking. I think it's more surreal than anything.
That.
I mean, after all,
the guy's got a cat face in the middle of his hand. That can't.
That cat's wearing armor. So I mean,
yeah,
that one looks like he's got a cloak on.
That's armor cat, and that's cloak cat. Come on.
Cat.
But yeah, he's working on Stonefist, and I don't know anything else about it. We just happened to talk, and we've been emailing since Friday. So
talk about a Bond villain. There we are.
I know, right?
Stone
Might be good to have him on for once.
Goldfinger, Stone Fist. Yeah. Anyway. Exactly.
So when are they going to start making the Bond villains have their own solo movies? Yes, we're doing all the villain thing.
They might as well. They've screwed Bond up enough.
I don't know. Is Bond owned by Disney yet?
That's probably they probably pitched the deal there. Now a Disney princess. James Bond.
No, and it never will be.
And all of the villains, you'll find them all to be super sympathetic. We'll all feel so sorry for them.
They got picked on. Make all the bullied kids the jerks. Wait, hold on.
And it's such a shame too, because the last Bond movie was actually standable up until the very end, and he decided to climb up to the roof and watch the missile hit him. It's like, yeah, that's the same thing that happened to Rogue One. It's like, yeah, we've been escaping the death, the death grip of the Empire this entire time. Oh, we're on this planet where they've struck this weapon down, and we're watching this wave of destruction come our way. Well, guess we bought it. It's like, no, that's not how that would work at all.
No.
You'd run like hell. Yeah.
I've not watched that film on purpose. Not going to watch it.
Oh,
well, they think that, don't they say in Star Wars that they died trying to get them the plans? So I think they figured, well, how do we kill them? I'll let you sit there.
Sorry, I was talking about
we're just going to sit here like idiots and say, "Yep, there's a wave of destruction coming at us, and we're going to get hit with it."
They died to get us these plans. Dead. They just didn't move.
Many boffins died. Many boffins.
Many.
Yes.
Yeah, but they didn't say who.
It's an old code, sir, but it works out.
So
there's an old exactly.
Is James Bond dead now? Then is he gone? Is that the
no? He's only dead in that incarnation. They're talking.
Oh, it's that Earth 59.
Earth 59. Yeah, I mean, I refuse to watch that film because if James Bond dies at the end, it isn't James Bond, is it?
And it's a shame too, because Rami Malek plays a really good Bond villain. Really good, subtle, just and nuts, insane, just. Yeah. Well done, and even the story, even the and they have an white American girl running through that's kicking ass and doing great stuff. Boom! Then suddenly she just disappears, and it's like, well, where did you go?
I was really enjoying the Bonds up to that point, to be honest.
Yeah. You were talking before about the sexual tension that they seem to get between the men and the women for running through. Well, they did that with Moneypenny, didn't they? They had they ruined it, didn't they?
Yeah.
They just ruined 50 years of Bond by
I mean, it's the overt concentration on people's sexuality and their relationships, their personal relationships. Not that shouldn't be in a film, not that there shouldn't be stories about that, but you don't want to see it in everything.
There's a time and place for everything.
I just don't want to. Sometimes I just want to be entertained. I don't want to. I don't want to think about that kind of.
You don't want a dwarf and an elf in The Hobbit making out.
Yeah.
If this Bond is dead now, are they going? Have they opened that for Jane Bond or something?
Absolutely, and it'll be a black female for sure.
They have no idea what they're going to do.
What would be really
good? There's so much hostility against that character that
what would be really good is if somebody were brave enough to get Henry Cavill to play James Bond and redo Dr. No. I mean, I'm not a fan of remaking films, but you could do something with that.
I wouldn't remake the film. I would faithfully adapt the book.
Oh yes, even more so.
And keep the character right back there during the Cold War where he belongs.
Yeah, have a 60s drama, or fun flick as it were, but make it as historically correct.
Well,
have that fun aspect to it, like they did with The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which I really enjoyed. And I thought Henry Cavill.
I've said this before about the Fantastic Four. They should put it. They should put it in the 60s.
Make it in the 60s. Yeah.
Skinny ties, hats, all the stuff.
The whole 9 yards.
Put it in the 60s.
And there's a phenomenal movie there that you could do incorporating Red Ghost and them out in space, both Red Ghost and the monkeys and the Richards and Storms end up getting bombarded by the same set of cosmic rays. They end up on the far side of the moon in the blue spot, bumping into the Watcher, and basically heading back to Earth. There's a great movie there.
So much fun.
They'd never do it.
That Fantastic Four from 10 or 15 years ago, or whatever it was now. I watched that, and I always think I'm wrong anyway about everything, but I don't remember Doctor Doom. I don't remember Doctor Doom being on that spacecraft and getting his skeleton turning into metal. That wasn't my Doctor Doom. No.
That wasn't really the Fantastic Four either, because if you look at that logo, that was actually the Fan Four Stick movie.
That was the Fabulous Four. They were fabulous.
If you look at the way the logo reads, it reads Fan Four Stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I've always looked at it. And I sat through it. Sorry, but I won't do it again. I wanted to see what it was like. I like what's her name, Katie Mira. I just don't like her Sue Storm at all. But best thing she was in was House of Cards, but that's a whole nother story. She ends up being pushed in front of a subway train. But
it's a tough job.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. Yeah,
you know it.
Looking forward to She-Hulk, though.
She-Hulk that last Fantastic Four movie, I forgot that thing existed.
Fast Four Stick, yeah. Well, there's a documentary out. They've re-released the Roger Corman movie. And there's a documentary coming out about the Roger Corman movie called Doomed.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, cool. Okay. That was a great film. If you understand that it was done literally just to reserve copyright and the budget was non-existent. Can we show that comic book black belt?
Yeah. This cosmic, man.
Cosmic.
You need some cosmic stuff going on. You need some fun. Isn't
I
all about
love the grin. That is such a good expression.
Giving a little bit away there, but don't worry.
Are you sure you can show us that? Is that allowed?
I can show you this. This is mine. I could do this. Is all mine. I own all of this. I can show you this stuff.
There you go.
So see, look, brains in jars. Brains in jars.
That's brains in jars. Yeah,
nothing beats brain other than floating heads.
Headless cyborgs. Brains in jars. That's what you want. Slicing, dicing, cosmic.
There you go. That's from Only Death Can Save Us. That'll be up as soon as you get that second book print.
It's coming. It's a difficult second album.
Critical Blast. Thanks for being in the house, RJ. It says best Fantastic Four has still been the Roger Corman version. Let's see what Marvel does. I'm totally expecting them to be a group of inner city kids that win the Stark Foundation grant, decide to make a rocket ship and go off and be exposed to cosmic rays. We'll see what happens. Personally, I was hoping
I'm pretty much finished with the MCU, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have been since Endgame. And I'm very shallow. I've said this before. I like explosions and I like special effects and I like fun stuff. Okay. And I'm fully aware that the MCU is not canon. My only argument with
not even to itself.
My only argument with this is it is not 616. Okay, is not. It's a version of Marvel in the same way that Christopher Nolan's Batman was a version of Batman. Totally acceptable. It had the guts of Batman in it. It had the essence of Batman. It wasn't Batman. It wasn't Batman in the comics. No. It had the essence of it. Did really well. And I think that first 10 years of Marvel had the essence. It had the essence of Marvel of 616 of the early days. It had the essence of it, and I really enjoyed it. And you have to change things for a large audience. You have to change things to fit things into films. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. But I think they've completely lost their way now, and I don't find any of it interesting or enjoyable anymore. That's the trouble. I don't care what they're doing in it. It's just it's just not interesting me anymore. And Endgame was pretty much it. It was the end.
So I went against my better judgment and signed up for Disney Plus because I'm such a big She-Hulk fan. Right. So she debuts, I think, this week, as a matter of fact.
It's Friday, I
think.
Yeah. Or Thursday.
I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot about it that looks good to me. That's why I went ahead and subscribed. But I have seen some of the trailers that really speak to being the MCU still, because after 15 years of being the Hulk, he's trying to train her, and she instantly knows everything and does everything better than him.
Yeah, yep.
It's like, it looks. Come on, she's been the She-Hulk for, I guess, around 6 months at that point. And for her to be better than him at everything is just another, Mary Sue, hear me roar, because she's
a woman.
But you see, the way to fix that is that you should never, ever have made Hulk the way he currently is.
True. Yeah.
Then the She-Hulk could have been great at yoga and at, doing all these other bits and pieces far better than he could, because Hulk's a raging monster.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's like, it makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. But as soon as you make him into some reasonable
Professor Hulk,
Hulk, it's like no.
And part of it too is that Mark Ruffalo would definitely not object to her being better, because he's a soy boy to begin with.
Oh,
the actor.
I don't like him.
I don't like
a lot about him
with Hulk. Even in the comics, though, he's gone through so many different incarnations, and the rumor is that they're going to build their way to World War Hulk storyline, which means he's gonna get enraged and dumbed down again here and turn into a savage beast, so that they can stick him on a ship and put him on a rocket ship and sail him off into space.
But unfortunately, I have no faith in any of it.
No,
I've just not particularly impressed with.
You just kind of have to let it flow over you anymore, because they're
I'm going to try not to be too critical of She-Hulk. I'm such a big fan. I think I'm just going to try to sit back and enjoy it if I can.
I think that's important. Like I was saying, it's important to open your mind and understand that a lot of these things, coming at it from a perspective as a comic fan and someone who is deep in maybe not even deep in the lore, but just is affected by the things that you've read in the past, especially when you're younger. Right. It's unfair to apply that, without any filter whatsoever to the stuff that Marvel or Disney or whatever have produced. It
does make you really appreciate the early stuff, though.
Yeah, it does. But again, how many people actually read that stuff?
That's so true.
That's the problem. You got a dwindling market share as far as comics are concerned.
Unless you have $150 and can buy the omnibuses anymore, the big thick books. That's the only way you get them reprinted anymore.
It has to be said, there's a lot of interest in older comics now. And that that's driven by the fact that people are looking for something maybe just a little more fun instead of on the nose. It's
a lot more fun, a lot more entertaining. Yeah. That's why those books are jumping so hard in price.
I love it when
it's not just a nostalgia factor. It's not just a collector's factor. It's the fact that those products.
I picked up an Essentials Warlock, Jim Starlin Warlock, and that was £45. So that's what $70.
Yeah, and probably after the next Guardians movie, that will jump up.
Yeah.
I love it when I'm out and about and I hear people talking who have been fans of only the MCU, not the books, and you can hear them debating topics, and it's like, I'm not going to be that guy that steps in and says, well, actually, but it's killing me because, they, in my opinion, or from my experience, they've got it wrong. Of course, it's all make believe, but there's a history there that they're unaware of.
You really have to remove yourself from the product and just understand that it's a separate universe. They'll never be able to copy the great stuff.
Without doubt, and Dojo's right. You have to sort of sit back and let it roll over you. Yeah. And if you're fortunate, you'll pick things out that you like. Right. There will be the odd thing that you go, oh, I actually, the other stuff didn't work, but that's working for me. And you've got to be open-minded enough, not just put up a wall and say no. Yeah, I'm not dealing with that stuff because it's not what I like. It's not what I used to like. You've got to be open. You've got to forever be open-minded and see what there is, even if most of it is trite. You've got to leave yourself open, because you never know. You might find a diamond in the rough.
If you get a chance, there's an Essentials out there that reprints the entire run of Rampaging Hulk. which was a black and white magazine that actually took place between Avengers 2 and the end of Hulk #6 and the start of his Tales to Astonish run. That's got some great stories in it. Great stuff that practically nobody pays any attention to.
If I remember right, it had some fantastic covers too.
Yeah,
are the covers reprinted in there?
I think so, but they're reprinted in black and white because all of the essentials are black and white.
Was that the one where some of the stuff was done almost like in charcoal?
Yes.
Yeah, love that stuff. I was buying those at a similar time when I was buying Savage Sword of Conan.
Yeah.
And they had like wonderful covers on them as well.
And they stuck a backup feature in there by some Moon Knight character done by some guy named Sinkovich.
Brilliant stuff. Wonderful.
Just phenomenal. Yeah.
Well, I guess he's okay too.
Yeah. At that time, he was really good. So, yeah. Well, now that I love his portrait work now. He's got a great composition sense, but I haven't seen a lot of his sequential work lately. I don't think he's done any. So it's probably beneath him at this point.
Yeah,
it's probably not fine artiste. Yeah. Agent Zero's listening now as I complete errands. Okay, Agent Zero, good. Thanks for listening in. Thanks everybody for being here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that love button. Make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe to the Ragin 2 Network because we are growing our subscribers organically, which means they're all real. No fake accounts on there. We want it all to be real. We want all of our listeners or our viewer hit counts to be real, which means that other people out there make their stuff look bigger by paying for extra hit counts or whatever. We try not to. We don't want to go that route. We want to grow this organically. So, Vazirko says like. Thank you, Vazirko.
Thank you.
Vazirko says like.
Thank you. Okay, that pregnant pause was brought to you by the projectile reptile. Let's watch that bumper real quick.
Infamous gunslinger Desmond Gibbons, better known across the Wild West as the Cactus Kid, comes to the sleepy town of Clarkson. Trouble finds him in the unlikeliest of sources, the sheriff. After their conflict, the Cactus Kid finds himself inexplicably wearing the badge of a lawman. Later, while on the trail of a serial killer, he and his deputy run afoul of a powerful druid, and the events that lead to the Cactus Kid's transformation into the hulking, four-armed projectile reptile are even more than the druid bargained for. From the Wild West to current-day Los Angeles, where he meets superheroes Black Eagle and Red Hawk, and forms an uneasy alliance with the stunning but deadly Kitty Hawk. Join the projectile reptile on a journey of gunslinging druidic magic, superheroes, and artifacts. Projectile Reptile from Dojo Kun Comics, only on Indiegogo. Are you ready for the truly Wild West?
It's available now over on Indiegogo. How's that going for you, Dojo?
Oh, it's going very well, and I couldn't be happier. So within 24 hours, it's already at 24% funded, and that's a great start for this campaign. I funded and fulfilled Siamese back in 2021. Then I had a couple of missteps. I launched the Healing Wars and To'urou Tales. Both of those had some examples of what not to do, and I learned from those. And then I reached out to the community and said, what about those didn't resonate with you? If you chose not to back it, what led you to make the decision not to? And I got some great feedback. Everybody who did respond was very constructive, which I appreciate. One of the things, of course, that they said was To'urou was difficult to pronounce. And when they said Toro Tales, Toro is actually Spanish for bull, whereas To'urou is the stone lantern that is in my company logo. But having to explain that over and over made it, I don't know, it didn't resonate as much with people. So I decided instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up 4 different IPs, put it out on Facebook and Twitter, and ask the folks, which of these 4 do you think would be great to move on to next? And Projectile Reptile seemed to really hit with potential fans, not just because the name is rhyming, but because it's a fun character. It hits a lot of different genres. So I definitely went with that one. So the name resonates, and there's actually a little bit of fun people are having with it too. They're joking with, why not rhyme projectile, erectile, reptile, or something like that. So I'm gonna lean into that. I think I'm gonna have a page or two of a spoof of my own character just to show that I'm a good sport about it, because it's fun. It is funny. So I think I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, the villain in that one would be called Viagra, wouldn't he?
There you go.
It lasted longer than 4 hours, and then I changed.
There you go.
If it happens for more than 4 hours, you're supposed to call your doctor.
I was never the same again. Oh, dear.
But I've got a great cast on the staff. Caius is from Brazil. And it's funny how many great Brazilian artists are coming out of the woodwork. And I mean, they truly, there must be something in the water down there, because one of my artists on Siamese was also from Brazil, Zilson Costa. My colorist on this book is Canadian. Chris Leithwood is his name, and he's brand new to coloring comics. And if this is his first foray into it, he's really knocking out of the park. I think he's doing a fantastic job. My letterer is the hardest working man in indie comics. That's Eric Weathers. And I heeded the advice of some of the people that I reached out to and got myself an editor. Now, I've been an editor and a proofreader for a very long time, and I thought I could rely on that, but decided to heed the advice. And I hired Steve Ferguson to do the editing, and he came up with some great finds and his reads through. I asked him, read through it once as if you're just a fan, not an editor. Just read through it. Does it sound fun? And then I said, go back through it again and now look for things like continuity editing. Are there any places where, because I'm omnipresent in this universe, I make assumptions that the fans know what this is or what that is and how we got from point A to point B, when in fact, as somebody who doesn't know the whole story, would not make that leap. So he identified at least one of those. And then he also spotted a point where I had a character who was talking kind of down home or folksy, and then later sounded super intelligent. He said, either of those is fine, but you got to pick one.
Pick one.
Yeah. The character's not going to, switch back and forth unless he's doing it on purpose for some kind of story mechanism. But, so yeah, he was right about that. I went through and fixed that. He was a great addition to the staff. So I'm happy about that.
Let me tell you my entire evil plot while you sit there figuring out how to get out of my death trap.
Right. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to ovulate.
Wow.
And then my three covers. The first cover A, is by Caius, the interior artist. Cover B is by Renzo Rodriguez, and he did sort of a cheesecake version where you saw that probably in the trailer where he's grabbing a couple girls' butts. And then the third cover is on the campaign, but wasn't in the trailer because I got it sort of last minute. But I'm really happy. It's a great get for me, and that is cover C is going to be on the hardcover, and it's by Shelby Robertson.
Okay.
Shelby is a longtime Image and Marvel artist, and his IP Ragetality is doing well in Indiegogo as well.
Cool. So he's away from Image?
Oh yeah, long time ago. He was brought in at the age of 16 by Rob Liefeld, but so he's like a 30-year veteran despite the fact that he's under 50.
One of those guys who got a mentor early on, and
right, and a golden ticket. I mean, he said
Rob's not complaining about.
Right,
one of those guys that actually listened to me like I was a boss or something. Holy crap.
Oh yeah. I saw that tweet you're referring to where Rob was lamenting the new batch of artists who seem to be entitled or don't want to get their jobs done or whatever.
These damn kids.
Yeah, right.
Leave them alone. Yeah.
Well, they had that problem when Image first started. They put out one issue, and then they'd get $15,000 or whatever. They get more than they would in a year doing something, and then they said they kept trying to track them down to get a second issue.
That's a wonderful, wonderful time back then.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Maybe not for business, but for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they all ran off and invested. Made McFarlane had a race car and all sorts of great stuff. There's a great story out there about McFarlane and all of the baseballs that he went through and bought in an auction that are all now completely worthless because they were all of the records that are associated with that ball are all tied into the steroid era.
Oh.
That
Oh wow, that sucks.
That the baseball league will not keep record of or admit. Not really. They admit that it happened, but they also make a big point about how they corrected their mistakes.
Yeah, they're all going to have an asterisk after them, just like all of these
steroid
men
era
who are
out of
beating the women in sports.
Yeah. Yep.
So, thank you for Zerko, because yes, you found the guy that I was talking to his son. So yeah, it was Jack Stoller. Like the guy I was talking to was Jason Stoller, and this is the work he does. So yeah, it's.
Oh, look at that, pretty.
Yeah, it's called the Black Hawk line, and I remember the Black Hawk, but you know, because he was like, yeah, he did the Black Hawk series, and I'm like, I heard Black Hawk, but what are we talking about here? But
yeah, over here in the States, the Blackhawks was a property created by Will Eisner's, a group of flyers during World War II that were flying souped-up jet planes. There was one flyer from every country that was currently being oppressed by the Axis forces. They got together and ran secret missions.
And he did this one. Yeah, he's got a really, really nice sketchy style.
Looks like he's been doing it for a while, too. Beautiful stuff.
So that one called Overture, is that a désigné?
Let me see.
It's in the top row. Yeah.
Yeah. The Flying Dutchman by Arboris, which is Overture and Cumulonimbus. Wow. Let me look at that one.
Wow, those look good.
Yeah.
The Legend of Hollander 2. That's
the Vliegende Hollander is literally the Flying Dutchman.
Okay.
Pius. I don't know this. I think I know this one actually. That looks
Flying
very,
Dutchman.
very...
That's Davy Jones, right? And that's supposed to be related to that. Yeah.
Sweet. Nice stuff.
Yeah. Well, the more you know.
Yeah.
Thanks to Zerko. I had no idea.
Yep, there's Dojo Coon's link right there. Thanks to Frog G. Thank you so much. 94 Rage Talities War.
That's Shelby's book.
That's Shelby's book.
Okay.
Critical Blast got an email saying there are books coming to me from Mike Jimmy. It's going to be a Radiant site. Yeah.
Damn right.
Flying Dutchman equals Mike Jimmy after 6 hours at the pub.
You should have seen me at the Renfell last week, Mike.
You had a big show last weekend too, Mike Jimmy.
Oh yeah. That was insanity. Keep in mind, I've been going to this event for 14 years now.
Okay.
So as a guest, I've been going to the camping, and staying there and doing the whole shebang and being slightly notorious as well with my drinking habits there.
Oh.
But after 3 years of not having that event, Castlefest, I finally got to table there at the Writers Market. I had Comic Monopoly because everyone else was doing prose books.
Oh, cool.
I had all the friends that I accumulated over the past 14 years there that I only see there suddenly go, you make books. Hold on, let me get some of that.
Good for you.
And a ton of people that just got one issue of Love and Korra on Friday or Saturday and then came back the next day going, I want the rest now. So
awesome.
Cool.
I tripled my sales record. It was absolutely awesome.
Good for you.
So I'm yeah, I'm still like up to here. I'm in cloud nine.
That's great to hear, Mike.
Convention reports from all over. Everybody's everybody's crowded. Everybody wanted to get back out there and back into the scene. So yeah,
it's been good, amazing.
Though. I know Motor City's running an October show this year. They don't normally do that, but they're doing one just because they feel the need, the opportunity probably to go out there and capitalize. Grand Rapids Con's usually always in November. That's the next convention I'm scheduled for, but I think there's a Monroe Con coming up in September as well. That I've never been invited to. So
I missed it. I don't know. Did you talk about how your con went last week?
Yeah, that was at the start of the show. It went real well. Second day especially. Sunday was really good. Just incredible, actually. Talked to a lot of people, and Sunday I sold probably 10 times more than I did on Saturday. So
awesome!
Wow.
It was just it was a night and day thing when usually it's switched around. Saturday's usually the crazy busy day. Sunday's kind of slow and you can talk to people a little bit more low key, but it was exactly the opposite this time.
Huh.
And he's already announced his dates for next year. He's expanding out into a much larger arena that's about a third bigger than what the arena that we were in. There's kind of a practice arena and then the actual big arena where they hold the 3-ring circus and all of the big hockey matches. That's the arena he's taking over next year.
Wow,
cool.
So he's just going to keep expanding. He's talking about taking both arenas at this point. He's not sure because he turned a lot of people away. He had a hard time finding guests this show because there was so much up against him. That C2E2 had a show going on in Chicago, and he couldn't catch anybody from the Midwest to come in and be a guest other than the local guys. Bill Loebs was there. Bill Morrison was probably the farthest one out. He's an artist that's worked on the Simpsons book. Mark Bloodworth was there. Scott Rosema was there, though he's not here. So anybody who was betting on Rosema to be here at this show, I think you have successfully lost at this point.
Damn Scott Rosema.
I know.
I teased him about that too.
I did pick up his book at the show. That's a really nice product. A lot slicker than it looks on the air. So we need to have him on to talk about that. It does look good. Yeah.
I had him deface the cover for me.
Really? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, me too. It was very nice. Like I said, got to see some old friends that I haven't seen in a good decade. And maybe in the future we'll have them on the air if they're willing to talk and get up there and get social. But it was an incredibly interesting time and very happy to see everybody. Took more pictures with people than I've ever done at any show. So I took a picture even with Brian too. So
yeah, I saw that.
There you go. So that was kind of a surprise. I mean, like who wants to look at? It's bad enough you have to look at my mug here, let alone stand up there next to your banner. Let's take a picture. Like, well, if you want to, and let me try to suck my gut in, that kind of thing. But anyway, it was a great show. Looking forward to more. So really looking forward to Grand Rapids. Got to talk with Mark Hodges, who runs the Grand Rapids show, for a little bit and catch up with him some. And he always puts on a phenomenal show and that's over on the west coast of Michigan, a little closer to Lake Michigan. So I'm more in the dead center here, and he's over here. Brian Dojo's over in here somewhere, right? Close to the thumb.
Yep, I'm north of the town that's called the Gateway to the Thumb. So
there you go. You're north of Bad Axe?
No, the Gateway to the Thumb is Lapeer, which is on I-69.
Is that what it is?
So I'm a little bit north of that.
I always thought Bad Axes. Anyway, a town named after a tool that they found laying on the ground. Hey, that's one Bad Axe. I'm serious. That's how they named the town. It's Michigan for you. It's better that than a native name that's really difficult to pronounce, because people still pronounce Saginaw funny, and some of the towns have great Native American names that you kind of have to crawl through. Trequamanon Falls is another great example. Michilimackinac. Yeah, it's shortened it down to Mackinac. Even though some of them, sometimes it's spelt with the one spelt with a W, there's one spelt with a C. There's an island that has the C in it, but it's still pronounced Mackinac Island.
Right.
I see at the end. So I'm just like, this is Mackinac Island? No, it's Mackinac Island. The C is actually a W. Oh.
I should just start trying.
And you criticize us for putting a U in color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we have the weirder spellings because we're a melting pot of definitions here.
Bloody colonials.
You know, we have Manistee, Marquette, we have all sorts of Munising, all sorts of great little towns that start with an M that I can never keep straight as to exactly where they are. But Munising is around Pictured Rocks. Marquette is a little farther up the Rabbit, up the Upper Peninsula. But a lot of M towns. Marquette. This anyway.
Yeah,
So,
I'd love to be able to join some US shows. That would be phenomenal for me.
I'm kind of interested to come out there and see some go to some shows.
Well, the good thing is,
really,
you can pay the plane ticket. Like there's free admission here.
Hopefully, give it a couple of years to see how the economy settles out. So maybe we'll get more.
If it looks right now, you're better off buying things in euros than you are in dollars.
Yeah,
it's actually dipped under. It's insane.
What's a euro is worth more than $1 right now?
No, it's just about the same.
Yeah,
and it actually dipped under last week, so it was less than $1.
Okay.
The WEF have managed to keep the value of the euro up high.
The euro originally started out being 2.5 times $1.
Mm-hmm.
So did the pound.
Yeah.
What we did to that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what a pound is compared to $1 right now anyway. So I do know that the price of gold.
About $1.50, is it?
Yeah, less than that, I think.
Less than that, $1.30 at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 32, I think it is.
Really gone down. It's great if you're being paid in dollars.
So the Canadian dollar is stronger than the pound right now. That's pretty crazy.
Well, back in the 60s, I remember an American dollar, $4 American to the pound. I remember my dad mentioned it.
Yeah.
Even I remember, 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, for you UK folks, if you want to take a train here, I have a spot for Dutch Comic Con that I need to have filled up in November.
So used to drive the wife crazy watching Norwegian train trips and on YouTube. What are you watching that for? It's fun. We're just traveling along, not even leaving your living room.
Yeah, no.
Look, it's a tunnel.
That YouTube.
Whole train trips, strange towns. It's great. It's phenomenal scenery over there, especially in the wintertime. Just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
You can travel the whole rail line over there on YouTube and never leave your house.
Mike, I thought the Eurostar stopped running to Netherlands from Houston.
No, it's coming from London. So
right.
Yeah, no, it's a straight route. It's
it would be easier for me to get on an aircraft and fly to the Netherlands than it would be to go all the way to London to get the train to go all the way up again.
Yeah. It depends on how much you want to spend.
I'll get the ferry at Hull and just go across and drive there.
I've done
that. The thing is, the train is only €100 to and fro.
Yeah.
So about £80.
Yeah, but I've still got to get to London.
Yeah.
And that's about
I don't know how much.
Pounds.
Oh,
that's a lot of money.
Okay.
How long is it? How far away is London from where you're at then?
200
Not
miles.
far enough.
200 miles.
2 hours? Yeah.
But it costs a fortune.
Yeah.
You could drive 3.5 hours and get to the farthest upper tip of Michigan where the Mackinac Bridge is.
Another pro of the train is as long as you can carry it, you can take it along. Doesn't matter if you've got 3 suitcases filled with books. If you can put it on that train, it's the same price.
Cool. Says Ragin 2 says Kickapoo. Wonder how it got its name.
Well,
I'm sure it's not the way you're thinking. There's probably some native definition there.
Yeah.
It's like get you goomy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you goomy.
What do they call it? Kickapoo. I kind of like that name. What's wrong with that?
What are you going to do with that? Kickapoo.
How do you spell that?
He and his father did a Kickstarter some years ago. It didn't make it.
Okay, well, the more you know. I'm gonna
probably ask for too much money.
Yeah.
So
too much. No idea how to run a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I mean.
All right, everybody. We could probably start winding down here, actually.
Yeah.
On our way out the door. Let everybody know what you're doing and where they can find you. Let folks know where they can find you.
Of course, you always have Linktree / C Michael Lanning with all the Facebook and Twitter stuff, and of course on Dispatches Tuesdays at 8 p.m. and I guess Sketchy Saturdays now at 10 p.m. Eastern or 10 a.m. Eastern.
10 a.m. Trust me.
Yeah,
It's 10
I can't keep
it's
up
4
with
a.m. for me. I'm not going to do that. 4:30 in the morning is early enough.
Just thinking about doing a late night show, but I don't know if my body could take it at the moment. So, I mean, a early morning late night show. 2 a. It's 3 a.m. where I am. Where are you? Come on board. Let's talk funny books or something like that. So, what are you currently working on?
I'm working on something with J.D. Calderon called Bad Days at Innsmouth, dealing with the drowned ones of the Lovecraftian stories.
Okay.
So,
how long are you going to be on that?
I don't know. Maybe next month or two.
Well, let me know. I still have those notes for Calico 3. I've got to translate.
Well, hey, you send them my way. I could always start doing storyboard or layouts for them.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
That's on my list. So here we go. So I've been trying to get this book along. Russ, let folks know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. Everything's there. Just go there. All the links, all the things you need to find out about me. Nothing in depth, nothing the HMRC would want to know about, or the police. But stuff that might interest you if you're into comics. Go there. Everything's there.
There you go. And you're currently working on your top secret project?
I have a top secret project which I will release to the world.
About 3 weeks.
In about 3 weeks or so.
Hopefully.
And obviously Only Death Can Save Us is still in production, book 2, and will be released this year. And there's some other stuff. So I'm still on Doctor Who magazine, still doing Doctor Who monthly. So check out my stuff.
Sweet. Dojo, tell folks how they can find you.
All right. Well, in addition to my currently live campaign, Projectile Reptile on Indiegogo, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Dojo Kun Comics. And my website is dojokuncomics.wixsite.com/Dojo Kun Comics.
And you're currently promoting Projectile Reptile. Are you working on anything else?
I'm actually already started writing Siamese 2.
Okay.
So that'll be up after Projectile Reptile fulfills.
Cool. Glenn, tell folks where they can find you.
Yeah, you can see me here most Sundays. You can get me on Facebook. You can contact me at comicsunlimitedmagazine@gmail.com. And you can also see me on Thursday, afternoons to me, but Thursday mornings to you, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Comics Unlimited podcast with Ted Davis. That's on Ted Davis Artistry. And you can get all my stuff on Amazon if you want to have a look at it. Lots of different kinds of things there. I do all sorts of things.
Literally, you have to go over there and look at the variety of stuff that he's done.
Oh, yeah.
Ragin 2 says, thanks for everything, Frog G. You hopping in helped me get some work done today. Later, guys. Good show. Thank you. Mike Jimmy, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find everything about me up on my Linktree /fairies and ends. And if you want one of these, you got to go to fairiesandends.com. It is currently listed together with the Oswald Chronicles, my first day, which I only have in small format so far, but it's coming in big. Should be picked up by my dad tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Sweet. And hey, folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find me over on Facebook. Don't look for me over on Twitter. That place is a mess. And you can always contact me at thezimcast@gmail.com. I do have a Twitter account. I just never go over there. We do have a link tree up for Arrow Comics 4.0. Go over there and look. Bookmark those pages because there's a lot of news coming that we're not quite announcing yet, and that we're still talking to other people about. There's campaigns in the works. There's great books in the works. There's just a lot of stuff heading your way. Right now, though, I'm working on a book detailing the last year of my life, which has been a challenge and a lot of fun at the same time to do. We're going to start a sign-up page for that here shortly. I'm hoping my goal now is to start the campaign probably mid-October and then run it. I might actually run it for the entire time that I was on the respirator exactly a year ago. That's October 13th through November 23rd. So we'll see how it goes. And you can look for that later. The Arrow Comics link has just been tossed in the chat. Thank you, Ragin 2. That's Arrow Comics over at Linktree, inkster.ee, link, linktr.ee. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's really linkter.ee. So.
Yeah, .e. You can find me also Wednesday. You can find me on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. over on most of the dispatches from outside the box, depending upon the topic that C. Michael decides to choose. You're doing puppets this week, right?
We're doing Jim Henson this week.
Jim Henson.
Okay. We will be doing puppets the following week. Believe it or not, there is a difference.
Yeah, no, there really is.
We'll make us talk some hardcore super marionation in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's because puppets aren't bigots, whereas Muppets are.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Well then,
I feel like there's some deep-seated issues there with Russ.
Then you can also find me Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on the Zimcast, where we talk more about the industry and have more opinion about how ridiculous things are in the current state of affairs, and how great of a time it is now to be doing independent and alternative works. Make sure you go through and surf Indiegogo and Kickstarter and Zoop if you have to. Zoop rhymes with poop. Anyway, and see and look at some of those campaigns because you never know the great quality of stuff that's out there, and so little of it right now is getting any type of marketing exposure. So,
thank you, Nita. I needed that. Where did the puppet
Rage 2 asked the question.
Where did the puppet touch you?
No. The puppet didn't touch me. The Muppet.
It's the Muppet. The Muppet.
The Muppet touched me.
Accosted by Ralph
with a glove hand.
Tell me where Kermit
the glove hand.
Come to find out that Big Bird is really.
Does anybody watch those? There's those videos on YouTube that have got like old cartoons and stuff, and they
we just opened with the Super 6.
They talk over the top of them, and it's a guy called JJ, I think, and just brilliant stuff. And they did one where Gonzo killed himself because I'm gonna find that. Because his chicken wife had left him. It was just check it out. It's so funny.
Muppet molestation. It's worse.
No. All right, back off, Nita. I know.
Oh my God,
folks! I want to thank you very much for being part of the Sunday Funnies. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks everybody that's listening. Make sure you hit that like and love button. Make sure you listen to the old shows on the archive and everything else that you can find over at the Ragin 2 Network, RAGIN and the number 2. Remember to go over there and subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. We want to build our numbers organically and genuinely earn those super chats once we become monetized. So don't forget our other programs that are on all throughout the week. Don't forget, if you go over to the Gemini Comic Supply right now and order your Gemini mailers, use that coupon code RAGIN2 as you go through checkout. They'll knock 5% off of your order. And right now, 5% can come in real handy.
Put it in gas. It would.
In the meantime, please remember, everybody, meatball doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And please, everybody, wise up. Mr. Natural says so. Absolutely. We'll see you all next Sunday here at 9 a.m. with another rousing conversation as we talk about the fun stuff that we love in this art form that we love so much. We'll see everybody soon. We wish you only the best. So take care. Have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great next week. This Wednesday's Zimcast, like I said, will be running on the theme to watch your language, because words are powerful. And some of the words, I think, especially in this industry, are being very misused and needs to be changed and at the very least redefined. So we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. In the meantime, like I said, we wish you the best. So take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Hail.
Make sure you go out and check out that local retailer. Spend some time with that retailer, going through their backstock and taking a look at all the great stuff out there. It's well worth your time. You never know what you're going to find, especially if you find an old Warren magazine out there, an old Eerie, Creepy, or Vampirella. Make sure you check those out. You can't go wrong, no matter how much. Well, I'd say if he's charging a lot for them, but hopefully they're not. So well worth your time to read those old black and white Marvel magazines. Shock yourself at the quality of some of that stuff. Just amazing, especially when you compare it to the modern stuff. So we're going out the way we came in. Thank you very much for being here. Once again, this has been the Sunday Funnies for the 14th of August. Take care of you.
Awesome, lovelies.
We'll see you. Oops.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.